Rising from the ashes, the story of Arjun. In a dusty little town where people had long accepted their fate, where dreams were spoken of in hushed whispers but rarely chased, there lived a boy named Arjun. His family was poor, struggling to make ends meet, but poverty was not the biggest weight on his shoulders. It was something far greater, the burden of expectations, of a life that seemed set in stone before he could even dream of changing it. Arjun's father was a mechanic, his hands always covered in grease and calluses. His mother stitched clothes for the wealthy families in town, earning barely enough to keep their home standing. They wanted a better life for their son, but they also feared dreaming too big, because disappointment was cruel and they had seen too much of it. Yet, from a young age, Arjun was different. He did not just want to survive, he wanted to thrive. He had a fire inside him, a hunger for something beyond the dusty streets and crumbling walls of his home. He wanted to study, to learn, to build a future where his parents would never have to struggle again. The first hurdle education in his town was a privilege, not a right. The local school had broken windows, tattered books, and teachers who had long given up on inspiring students. Most boys in Arjun's neighborhood left school by the time they were 10, picking up jobs in garages, shops, or farms to support their families. But Arjun refused. He woke up before dawn, helped his father at the workshop, ran errands for his mother, and then rushed to school, his feet kicking up dust as he ran down the unpaved roads. His uniform was patched together, his shoes worn out, but his determination was intact. His teachers noticed his sharp mind, his hunger for knowledge. One day, his math teacher pulled him aside and said, "Arjun, you have potential. You should aim for something bigger." Bigger. The word echoed in his mind. Could he? Could a poor boy from a forgotten town dare to dream beyond his circumstances? Then, life threw its first real challenge. His father fell ill, unable to work. The weight of responsibility shifted onto Arjun's young shoulders. His mother worked twice as hard, her fingers raw from stitching, but it was not enough. One evening, she sat beside him and said gently, "You need to leave school, beta. We need your help." Arjun felt as if someone had knocked the air out of his lungs. He wanted to scream, to argue, but he looked at his mother's tired face, at his father's weak frame, and he knew he could not be selfish. But giving up was not an option. The silent struggle. Arjun made a decision. He would work, but he would not give up on his education. During the day, he took up small jobs, washing cars, delivering newspapers, fixing broken machines at his father's garage. At night, he studied under the flickering light of a street lamp when their electricity failed, memorizing equations, reading.